Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, I want to share a truly heartwarming story with you. A tale about a tiny cloud with a very big heart. Her name is May Miu, and at the beginning of our story, she wasn't exactly a hero. In fact, May Miu was a bit of a lazy little cloud. While all the other clouds were busy practicing how to make rain and thunder, May Miu preferred to just float. She loved drifting lazily across the big blue sky, watching the world go by below without a care in the world. Work? That was for the big, serious cumulonimbus clouds. May Miu was perfectly happy, just being a fluffy, carefree puff of white. One bright morning, a grand announcement echoed through the heavens. God himself was organizing the first ever Golden Rain Race. The winner would be crowned the most magnificent rainmaker in the sky, earning a dazzling golden raindrop trophy. Excitement rippled through the cloud community. Every cloud, from the wispiest cirrus to the mightiest storm clouds, began to train harder than ever. And May Miu, well, the idea of a shiny golden trophy was just too exciting to ignore. Without a second thought, she zoomed over to the registration desk and signed her name with a flourish. There was just one tiny problem. May Miu had absolutely no idea how to make rain. Not a single drop. She had spent all her time drifting and daydreaming, and now, standing among all the determined, practicing clouds, she started to feel a little knot of worry tighten in her fluffy tummy. How was a lazy little cloud who had never worked a day in her life supposed to compete in the Golden Rain Race? The first day of training was a disaster. May Miu tried to imitate the bigger clouds, puffing herself up and trying to look serious. But when she tried to gather water vapor, the tiny droplets just tickled her and slipped right through. She tried to get heavier, to feel the weight of a coming rain. But she was so light and airy that the slightest breeze would send her tumbling across the sky. The other clouds, seeing her struggle, couldn't help but giggle. "Look at May Miu," one whispered. "She thinks she can make rain." Feeling embarrassed and discouraged, May Miu drifted away to a quiet corner of the sky, her dreams of the golden trophy starting to feel very far away. She watched as the other clouds expertly gathered moisture, growing darker and heavier, ready for the race. A sigh escaped her. A little puff of vapor that quickly disappeared. Maybe she just wasn't cut out for this. Maybe she was destined to be a do-nothing cloud forever. Just as she was about to give up, a swift, whistling sound approached. It was Whirlwind, the wise and ancient spirit of the air. He had seen Miu's struggles from afar. He swirled gently around her, his voice not harsh, but kind and encouraging. "Little cloud," he hummed. "The sky doesn't give its gifts to those who just wish for them. It gives them to those who work for them. Making rain isn't about being big or strong from the start. It's about patience and persistence." Whirlwind then shared the secrets of the sky with her. He taught her how to feel the invisible currents of moisture in the air, how to patiently invite tiny water droplets to join her, one by one. He showed her how to spin and dance with the wind to gather more and more vapor, and how to hold that growing weight within her. "Every great storm begins with a single drop," Whirlwind said. "And every great cloud begins with a single effort. Don't compare yourself to others. Just focus on being a little bit better today than you were yesterday. May Miu listened, and for the first time, she felt a flicker of real determination. It wouldn't be easy, but she was going to try. From that day on, a new May Miu appeared in the sky. She was up before the sun, practicing what Whirlwind had taught her. She chased after streams of vapor, even the tiniest wisps, and patiently gathered them. It was hard work. Her body ached from holding the increasing weight of the water. Some days, she felt so heavy, she thought she would fall right out of the sky. The other clouds still looked down on her, whispering that she was wasting her time. But May Miu didn't listen. She remembered Whirlwind's words and kept going. Slowly, miraculously, she began to change. Her fluffy white form started to become denser, her edges turning a soft, pearly gray. She was no longer just a carefree puff of fluff. She was becoming a rain cloud. She learned to bear the weight, to hold the promise of a downpour within her. The laziness was gone, replaced by a quiet strength and a persistent spirit. She was still small, much smaller than the others, but she was no longer empty. She was full of effort, full of hope, and full of water. The day of the golden rain race arrived, and the sky was a canvas of gray, buzzing with nervous energy. The competitors, big, dark, and powerful, lined up at the starting line. And there, among them, was May Miu. She was still the smallest, but she stood tall and proud. The race began. A mighty trumpet blast signaled the start, and the clouds surged forward, racing towards the finish line where they would release their rain. But just as the race was getting underway, the weather took a sudden, violent turn. The wind howled, turning from a helpful breeze into a raging gale. A fierce, unexpected storm had blown in, throwing the race into chaos. The powerful storm clouds were tossed about, their carefully gathered rain scattered uselessly by the wind. Panic spread through the sky. Below, a flock of tiny swallows, caught completely by surprise, were struggling against the brutal wind. Their wings were no match for the storm's fury, and they were being thrown towards the jagged rocks of a mountain peak. They chirped in terror, their tiny bodies about to be dashed to pieces. Seeing the swallow's plight, May Miu forgot all about the race, the golden trophy, the competition, the glory. None of it mattered anymore. All she could see were those terrified little birds. An instinct she never knew she had took over. Without a moment's hesitation, she pushed with all her might, moving her heavy, water-laden body against the storm. She flew between the swallows and the jagged rocks, using herself as a shield. The ferocious wind slammed into her, trying to tear her apart. It hurt. It felt like she was being ripped to shreds, but she held on, protecting the fragile birds behind her. In that moment of pure, selfless kindness, as she focused every bit of her energy on saving the swallows, something magical happened. From the bottom of her little cloud body, a single, perfect drop of water fell. Then another and another. It was her first rain. It wasn't a powerful downpour, but a gentle, steady shower that fell upon the grateful swallows, washing the fear from their eyes and giving them the strength to fly to safety. When the storm finally passed and the sky cleared, God appeared. The other clouds, who had been tossed and scattered, gathered around. Ashamed of their panic, God looked at them. Then his gaze fell upon little May Miu. He smiled warmly. He hadn't been watching the race. He had been watching her. Today, God announced, his voice booming across the calm sky, we have seen the most beautiful rain of all. He pointed not to the mighty storm clouds, but to the gentle shower that still fell from May Miu. Why is it the most beautiful? He asked. Because this rain was not made for a prize or for glory. It was born from a heart full of kindness and a spirit full of perseverance. It is a rain of pure effort and selfless love. As he spoke, the sunlight streamed through May Miu's gentle rain, and a magnificent, shimmering arc of color painted the sky. It was the most brilliant rainbow anyone had ever seen. Born from her act of courage, May Miu never won the Golden Rain race. In fact, no one did that day, but she received something far more valuable. God declared that her rainbow would be a permanent reminder for everyone in the sky and on the earth below. A reminder that it doesn't matter how small or insignificant you feel you are. It's not about the size of your body, but the size of your heart and the strength of your will. Through her persistence and her kindness, the laziest little cloud in the sky had achieved something truly great. She had learned that the greatest power isn't in making the biggest storm, but in using what you have to make a positive difference, no matter how small. And so, the story of May Miu teaches us a timeless lesson. With hard work, perseverance, and a kind heart, even the smallest among us can create something beautiful and touch the world in a powerful way. So next time you see a rainbow, think of little May Miu and remember that your own efforts and your own acts of kindness, no matter how small they seem, can create something just as beautiful in the world. Thank you so much for listening to her story with me today. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that warm the heart. See you in the next one.
Like, comment, and subscribe.